most visionary entrepreneurs are not going to want to admit that they've built themselves a job with a fancy title rather than the money-making machine they set out to build.
So you're not necessarily looking for what's broken, you're looking for what's not there in the first place, because the chances are a lot of those missing pieces are currently being done by you.
It is so hard for me to see something that I created is the problem, because I created it. Of course it's perfect.
Triage is understanding what's causing the most problems for the business. We split it down between the size of the problem, the size of the effect it will have.
It's not just one thing that's wrong. It's like
You
10
need to
things,
take it-
and you need to choose and prioritize.
At no point do we skip to the fix. Everybody wants to do that. And what you end up doing is... Hi, and thank you for joining us for yet another episode of Special Ops Podcast. I'm in Rainville, your host, and I'm thrilled to be joined today by Richard and Tiago from Shockwave Solutions. Today, we're going to be talking about something that I think most visionary entrepreneurs are not going to want to admit, and that is that they've built themselves a job with a fancy title rather than the money-making machine they set out to build. So today we're going to be talking about how to turn it all around. If you visit our website at specialopspodcast.com, there's a place there where you can sign up for a Visionary Vault. If you haven't already, I highly suggest you do that. Our team works countless hours to create totally free content. We never try and sell you anything, just to add value to our community. So check that out and sign up for it. Today we have in there for you 6 steps to your profit machine revealed. And that was written by our own Tiago. Okay, guys, I'm going to try and do this in 10 minutes. Are you ready?
Yeah.
So the first thing is audit. Second thing is diagnose. Third thing is discovery. Fourth is plan. 5 is reduce the noise. And 6 is fix. So let's start with audit. We start with audit with everything we do. Even when we're bringing on a client. We don't bring on, oh, you want to pay us $25,000 a month? That's awesome. But no, you can't do that. You have to pay us 10 first for an audit. And we audit everything. Richard, tell me how a business owner goes in and audits their current business.
Sure. So I'm going to use our version as a little bit of it's a case of breaking down every department, figuring out what is going on at every piece of the business. You should be able to understand who's doing what in your company, what their actual roles are, what their responsibilities are, and what's missing from those roles. That's really the key
Oh,
thing.
that's good. What's missing?
Yeah, that's really the key thing that you're aiming to find in this kind of audit. You're not necessarily looking for what's broken. You're looking for what's not there in the first place, because the chances are, if you have a job with a fancy-sounding title, a lot of those missing pieces are currently being done by you or by someone who you could be delegating.
Or they're not being done, which means you're
Not
leaving
being done at
tons of money on the table.
Absolutely.
When we audit our clients, we start and we do it by department. I think it's important to take buckets. Don't just like have this random smorgasbord. It needs to be organized. Grab and look at each department. What is each team member doing? What are they responsible for? What is the KPI that they're supposed to hit? And if you don't have them, looking at creating them makes a lot of sense. Now I want to go into diagnosis. And this is the part that's hard for a business owner to do for themselves and why we get hired so often. Because even me in our business, like I do this for a living. It is so hard for me to see that I'm the problem or that something that I created is the problem because I created it. Of course it's perfect. That's how we all are, right? So the diagnosis part, you really, really, really need to walk into this without an ego or have someone else do it. That's huge. And so when you're going through and you're looking at, okay, my expenses, my OpEx is far too high for the revenue I have. My percentage is so high that my profit margins are coming in way too low. So the first thing you want to do is, who is responsible for checking those expenses? Is it you? Is it your controller? Is it your bookkeeper? Is it your controller, but she was never told that she needs to come and tell you that you're spending too much money? Like really looking in and what is the problem? But it isn't, a diagnosis isn't just the problem, it's the cause of the problem. And then comes in the next part, which is discovery. Everyone skips this part. They go directly into trying to fix things. Discovery is?
You're going to come down into the business and to the day-to-day and see it operate firsthand. So before you grabbed everything statically. And now you come in and you see it at work and you start asking the questions while you see things happen. So you're going to discover, you're going to go even further. So you already diagnosed going further than the surface level. You're just pulling from a thread and seeing where it leads you.
Discover why.
Exactly. Why and where this is coming from. You know, you never know at first. Discover why and where. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's important. We were talking yesterday, Tiago and I, and we were talking about this step, and we were talking about the client that we had that they didn't answer the phones. And so their merchant accounts were on fire. So it seemed like we should just have their customer service team answer the phone. Well, their customer service team wasn't answering the phone because they had all 17 to 21-year-old young females with attitude, and it was causing problems with customers. So just having them pick up the phone and answering them would have been a whole problem in and of itself, right? So understanding why we got here. Yo, we interrupt this pod to tell you to like and subscribe. What are you doing? Why haven't you liked? Why haven't you subscribed? Just subscribe. What's the problem? In all seriousness, subscribe so that you get notifications every time we drop new content. Additionally, if you have not signed up for our Visionary Vault, what the hell? www.specialopspodcast.com. Go sign up. It's free. We never try and sell you, and we're putting all kinds of stuff in there to help you with the operations of your business because we're passionate about it and we want to share operational excellence with our direct response e-commerce and online selling family. The next thing is the plan. What is the path to fixing it? And so talk to me about that, Richard and Tiago. I'd love to hear Richard's, like, how do you sit down and go, okay, this is wrong. This is why it's wrong. Now,
I want to leave Richard because he's amazing at this. I wanted to mention that it's probably not just one thing that's wrong. It's like
You
10
need to
things,
take it-
and you need to choose and prioritize.
you should prioritize one thing at a time.
And that's where I think he's amazing.
Fundamentally, the triage is the kind of metaphor there. Like just understanding what's causing the most problems for the business. We split it down between the size of the problem, the size of the effect it will have, and figure out which of those are these kind of low-hanging fruits. What's closest to the ground that's also the ripest, the juiciest fruit in that.
Right. A lot of people try and equate that to money. I'm going to say that's always a mistake. Visionary time. If you had more time to be looking at the high-level aspects of your business, this wouldn't have gotten this way to begin with. Visionary time. But go ahead, Richard. Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, it's essentially what can you fix that's going to have the biggest result in your business? Because these kind of effects kind of compound. It's not just,
Right.
I'll fix it to get some time back or get some money back. But these kind of roll into this bigger and bigger effect because it's now a lot easier to handle those additional pieces of the plan.
Beautiful.
You got more time, you got more resources. It's just
Yeah. So Tiago's favorite piece, reduce the noise.
Reducing the noise. Yeah. And I think a couple of these items start happening simultaneously at some point. So while you are discovering, you start planning, and you probably could start planning before that as well and just readjust while you discover. And then you get to reducing noise. You're going to need resources in order to execute everything you have to execute. And you're going to need clarity in order to execute it properly. Reducing the noise is going to every platform. We talked about this a lot of times, Emma, going out to every platform and seeing where the visionary is being engaged, every place where the visionary is being engaged. And it's also good to do that for every employee. So where everyone is being pulled to. And just identify waste and noise, everything that's not needed. Anything that could be, for example, we're getting 1,000 notifications, X person. Can this come into a tracker spreadsheet, and could this be checked once a week instead of getting like ding, 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 and it drives you crazy.
That was a dig at me.
So I think that's most of reducing the noise. It's organizing, cataloging, labeling, and cleaning up.
Yeah.
And just putting things in the appropriate boxes. Anything you can just eliminate, that'd be amazing as well.
All right, so we've audited, we've diagnosed, we did a discovery phase, we've planned, we've reduced the noise. Now we get to fix. At no point during those steps do we skip to the fix. Everybody wants to do that. And what you end up doing is creating another problem for you to fix next year. Audit, diagnose, discover, plan, reduce noise, and now we get to fix it. This has been a short podcast, but I think it's so important for people to think through, because we get in this whirlwind and it's an awful lonely place to be. We've talked about loneliness a lot in the operator sense and how operators and people in operations are very lonely. We are the person that every bus runs, and we are thrown under there by everyone around us, literally, below and above. It's terrible. But for a visionary entrepreneur, a business owner who has built himself a trap, who has built himself a job with a fancy title, they feel lonelier than you can imagine. So go ahead and hop over to our Visionary Vault at specialopspodcast.com. If this was helpful for you, like and subscribe and grab your 6 steps to your profit machine today. See you next time.